Hey, Walking Dead fans, it's been so long. We are here to cover episode 3, Warning Signs. It is Family Fun Day on The Walking Dead. The feud comes to a full head this early in the season, and fingers are being pointed on who's responsible for Justin. We're going to talk about it. Don't click away.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, Walking Dead fans, what's going on? Oh, we got lights? So I like it. Episode 3, Josh, our wonderful engineer. Thank you for those lights. I am very excited to talk about this episode, you guys. Going right into it, what were your initial thoughts on this episode?
It was a doozy, that's for sure.
A little shocking, a little...
It was, 3 whole episodes in. My favorite episode of the season thus far.
Okay,
yes, I agree.
Just because we got some good info, and I'm happy to see some people being taken down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of action, a lot of exciting stuff. I would have to agree. It was my favorite so far this season.
Yeah, it was definitely my favorite episode this season. We saw a lot happen, and we learned a lot.
Yeah.
And then also, I mean, this is just like a episode full of predictions for me.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to
what's
those.
next?
We will get to predictions
Right.
at the end. But I want to jump in with the opening scene. So it picks up from literally the night before, which we just talked about, episode 2. Walker's feeding on Justin. I saw the warning sign, the final warning sign in, I guess it was spray paint or something like that on the thing. But I didn't know if that was there already or if the person or people responsible for Justin had written it.
Had done that.
What did you guys think on that? Because I thought that it was already there, but then they lingered on it, so I was like...
Maybe they just did because the context works so perfectly, but I feel like it would have been there.
Yeah.
I thought like the people responsible for the death
Had
of
put
Justin
it?
had
They wrote
read
it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
thought they had written on
They
there.
did like linger on it, so
Yeah,
there had
that's
to,
just what I assumed.
Well, but I mean, now that we know who was responsible
doing
for the
it.
death of Justin, surely they wouldn't have left a warning sign, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it had to be there.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was just like, it was so
Just
final warning
perfectly
for who?
fitting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We open up with Rick having a wonderful day. It's like the Brady
God.
Bunch here on The Walking Dead. What I loved is seeing the Carl and Judith handprint on the wall that they took out of the porch and
That
how
was
they nailed
adorable.
it. I thought that was really nice.
Yeah.
Shot to the gut right there
Right?
for me.
Right?
That was adorable.
Right?
Yeah, but I was happy to see we never see Rick smile.
Right.
So it was actually,
Right?
a little like cheeky, whatever, but I was actually loving that
Or like
whole
just
scene.
him and Judith. I was like, this is adorable.
Yeah.
Him like chasing her around. It was the cutest little thing.
Well, he wants to take a day off with Michonne because apparently she's been working too hard on this new charter, aka laws for the community.
Yeah.
Because as we talked about in last
Important
episode,
stuff.
we need to rebuild the lawful civilization.
Right.
Yeah.
And Rick brings up wanting to have another baby.
I was so
Yeah.
curious to ask y'all what y'all thought of that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask you, April, to beat you to
Best
it.
idea right now, but sure. I guess that's the whole point. They're rebuilding.
Right.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up, Krista, because in this world, if you will, do you think that it's ever an opportune time for somebody?
I wouldn't want to. No.
No, it's not. But at the same time, like, how are you going to keep it going? How are you going to keep the living going? and I want to see another mixed baby on this show. Let's go.
Yeah,
There you
next
go.
time.
Another one. Yeah, I've got so many now.
Yeah.
It's never opportune and it's never going to be opportune for them.
Right.
But like right now would not be the best time. They're currently living in tents.
Yeah.
But I guess, you do have 9 months and maybe Rick is anticipating it being something different. Also, he walks outside and finds this very red tomato. So it's almost like a symbol of
Right.
rebirth. But I really think they just did that. The writers did that because it's like, okay, if Rick is going to be
Let's have a
gone,
little piece of
then yeah, we need something else because, like we said, Judith, we don't know if he's Rick's or Shane's,
Exactly.
and so it's like that'll give us a piece of him. But
Right.
Yeah.
no, nothing's ever going to make up for him leaving the show.
No,
so
not at
it's like, nice try, but I'm not falling for it.
I also can't picture Michonne pregnant.
Yeah, that's
Like
And-
stick wielding and I
Right.
just,
I'm just
it'll
like,
be
it's
like,
a
interesting.
can
little
she sit
weird.
down for that
And-
long?
no.
No, she can't.
No.
She will birth fighting.
Exactly.
Right.
And B, this puts the person who's pregnant in danger.
Right.
I mean, you are very vulnerable when you're pregnant. I mean, yeah, Maggie did it, but granted, we didn't even see the last, 2 terms of her pregnancy.
Right.
They just,
To be honest, I'm
fast-forwarded
surprised
it.
more people aren't knocked up on this show because none of them are on birth control. And you know what I mean?
And they don't have TV.
No, so
Right. It's like, what else is there to do?
well, that and there's accidents happening left and right with all these love triangles happening.
Right.
I mean, pull-out games must be real strong, you guys.
That's true.
I'm just saying. Was anybody interested, if you will, about when we see Maggie on the horse and they're going down the road, and then we see the Asian man next to her? I literally wrote New Glenn next to his name.
I think we all thought that.
I was like, she's got a type.
I'm like, come on, Maggie.
I love that we all thought the same thing because I was like, okay, this is me being bad.
I thought too.
It's like Herschel needs a new dad. Come on, let's go.
Right? And nobody would ever think. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just saying. And you're right, April, she does have a type. So
Yeah,
just
that was
saying.
me,
Oh,
man.
sorry.
She's like, I'm going to take credit for that.
One of the ladies said it.
We were all thinking it.
Clearly, though.
You said it.
That is short-lived, though, because the saviors come out of the woods and they're looking for Justin, which was interesting to me because I didn't think that they cared enough about each other
Right.
to go
Me
look for each
either.
other. You know what I mean?
I think it's more so they want to know what's going on so they can prove that they need guns. And,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think.
But-
I don't know. I think there's a camaraderie and a family
They're the
kind of
same
unit
people.
there, just because they feel like they're the same people and they're
Yeah.
the same unit, and they're there for the same cause, and neither of them have guns, so
Yeah.
that means they must band together.
Yeah.
So I think it was like a mixture of both.
Yeah, but we obviously established that Jed is going to be a problem
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jen. Yeah.
because he was an ass, you guys.
Yeah, don't eat that
not
tomato
nice.
without asking.
Hey.
Hey, like, what's your name?
Oh, and then he was like Mud. I was like, what do you mean Mud?
That's not your name.
Like, don't be a butthead. Come
Yeah,
on.
he's gonna be some trouble.
Yeah. So the war between the Old Saviors and Rick's people. I mean, obviously, we keep going back to this theme where the Old Saviors don't necessarily agree with Rick's rules.
Right.
Now, I know I keep asking you guys this, and I want to know if the episodes change your opinions on it from episode to episode. But do we still agree with the fact that maybe they should have just took out all of the saviors when they needed to?
Not all. That's like so
I
hard. 'Cause
know,
some
I
of them
know.
are nice.
Yeah.
Like we're just stuck there because Negan's is Negan. So
Right.
it's just it's how do you pick and choose who to. I get Rick's point, but I
Yeah.
also get like why everyone's like, no, they've done so much to us in the past.
Yeah.
You literally have to go through the line and be like, who that one harmed me in
Yeah.
one way, and it's just like I don't know.
And
I
they've
know.
all harmed one another.
Yeah.
We
Exactly.
can't forget about how many people Rick and his people killed.
Right.
So they have
Exactly.
just enough reason to be angry. Now, granted, they did it in a very different way, and they only did it on the defense. You know,
Right.
they didn't just go and
looking for
attack
people.
people.
Well, except for when Rick did have that little fallback.
Yeah.
We're gonna forget
There
about
you go.
that. We forgot about that already. But I think that honestly, after this episode, I was kind of like, kill them all, get rid of them, just because it seems like you ultimately you do have to protect your own, and it seems like they're just gonna get knocked off one by one anyway until
Just
they
let it
band
happen.
together.
Right.
Or it's like they should have killed Negan and then been like, who wants to stay? Who wants to go? You're
Right.
more than welcome to stay. You're more than welcome
That's
to go.
what they-
'Cause I
that's
feel
what
like those people would have gone.
Yeah.
I feel like killing Negan would have been a real great starting point to be like, we're not messing around here.
Yeah.
Fall in line or get out.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, this whole thing like Rick's every life counts type thing.
Yeah.
It's like I get it.
I do get it, but we're like in the
not
zombie
realistic.
apocalypse.
It's not
Yeah.
realistic, and like decisions need to be made that you don't really want to make, and not everyone is ready. Like Carol said in the episode, not everyone's ready to make that decision
Yeah.
and to be
Yeah.
better and to be a unit.
But why do we think about in chat? By the way, Scrappy's mom says it's all or nothing. Either you save all the saviors or none at all. But okay, why do we think different? Negan essentially said the same thing,
Right.
just different words
a good
than
point.
Rick. Negan was people are important, people are useful. That's why he just killed one, not all. But they're not killing any because what does he say? People are
Every life counts.
Yeah, yeah.
Every life counts.
Every life counts.
So basically, that's them saying the exact same thing, and it's all kind of the same. When Negan's people took over Rick's people, no guns, no nothing. So it's like, what does everyone expect?
But you can say the same thing and execute it differently. I mean, Negan was definitely a dictator, where Rick is more of a democracy.
Yeah.
So there are major differences. I was going to say slight, but there's nothing slight about it. Rick is completely different than Negan.
Right.
It's just, I guess when you've looked out for people, because Negan did treat his people well.
Sure.
He looked out for them. He gave them what they needed. So I can see why they're so loyal to him. But at the same time, if I was looking at Negan and then I looked at Rick, I as a human being would put two and two together and see, you know, wow, this was like an abusive relationship. Negan, I was in an abusive relationship with Negan. Now I'm set free and Rick is treating me nicely.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
It's not that hard. I mean, to me.
It's very obvious, you know. It's like good behavior. Eventually, you'll get your guns back. But I'm sorry, you just tried to shoot all of us into a million little pieces. Like, forgive me for being cautious.
Right.
That's what's so crazy, though, is that like whenever Rick comes around, they do seem to listen to him. I use air quotes because like
he just rides in on a horse, and everyone's like.
Which
I know.
Like he's just strutting back and forth. You could just see the legs of the horse. And everyone was like, okay.
Rick's hair, whatever.
Well, April, I'm glad that you brought that up, because it's the want of guns that sets them over the edge, because they feel like they're being hunted because Justin was found.
Right.
And do we blame them for wanting protection?
No, how can we can't?
And it was actually pointed out.
It's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. It's such a hard situation to be in.
Right, and it was actually pointed out to Rick that he's pretty much like, in a way, doing the same thing Negan, providing protection and safety, and they have to work. That type of thing. But I mean, like you pointed out, it's totally different.
And eventually you get somewhere else.
You get somewhere, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of the same place where Negan promised nothing.
Right.
Yeah,
Not at all.
exactly.
It literally just baffles me, because Negan was the guy that was like burning people's faces and stealing people's wives and killing people whenever
That's what I'm saying.
Stealing people's lives.
Literally though.
Yeah, I forgot.
Like, what is like?
But
He
I
was
mean-
not a very good guy. Like, we love him as a
I don't know.
villain,
Maybe
but
it's something with they felt safe with him.
It's the same
you
thing
know?
with like the Nazi regime and Hitler. I mean,
And Fidel Castro.
Yeah, there was a lot of people,
Yes.
dictators. You become their ally, you love them, and then that's all you know.
praise them. You praise
after a
what they
while,
do.
and then
Right.
if someone comes and treats you better, you feel like it's a threat.
Yeah.
I think it almost would, that camaraderie or the whatever, like, abusive relationship love happened better with Negan's people, because whenever they brought people in, like, literally to join their group, not just took over other groups, they were a savior. But now it's not, it's still like this group, this group, this group, this group coming together as one, but they're still all very
known as
separate.
their groups.
And they all look bad at the saviors. Like, no one likes the saviors.
one's
They're like
agreeing,
the scum.
Yeah.
I mean, but there are some saviors that we do like. Like, Alden is nice.
Right.
Yeah.
The blonde-haired girl, forgive me, you guys, I cannot remember her name.
She's awesome, yeah.
I even like the short-haired girl toward the end.
Me too.
I did too.
Which we'll talk about.
We'll talk about that. But hey, AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows. From dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there's no network that works harder to serve television fans like we do. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel, and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments, and we'll thank you on air. For now, thanks for being the best fans and helping us be the SPN of TV Talk. Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome.
We love you, and if you are listening to us on iTunes, make sure you give us a thumbs up. If you're listening to us on iTunes, give us 5 stars, and make sure you we love 5 stars, 5 stars. And if you are on Twitter, make sure you subscribe to AfterBuzz TV and subscribe to YouTube channels, just like Danny said. Thank you.
Yes.
So fingers start to be pointed, and the first person that they kind of point to was Anne. Obviously, because of what they did to her people, which rightfully so. I mean,
Understandable.
it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And that kind of sets off a chain reaction between her and Father Gabe. I don't want to jump too much far ahead, but Father Gabe is really infatuated with Anne.
Yeah.
He lies for her to Rick's face.
Why though? It's the first girl that's given him attention in years. Actually,
Right.
I answered my own question.
Yeah.
I'm like, come
You're
on.
right. He's like a lady
We
likes
gotta
me.
remember,
Yeah.
it's still human.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, fingers are also pointed at Daryl, and Rick goes up to Daryl, and then this conversation ensues. And I'm glad that Daryl didn't get butthurt or offended
Right.
Yes.
by it.
He had every right to, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I was waiting for the line of him to be like, ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But then at the same time, he literally says, if I wanted to kill him, I just kill him in plain sight.
Right.
I was like,
That's
that's
what I'm
true,
saying.
though.
That's so true.
And
Yeah.
that's why we love Daryl.
Yeah,
Exactly.
He's not gonna hide it.
No,
He's not a coward.
No, not
And Rick
at all.
should know that. I don't even know why he asked
even
him. Right.
Yeah, but what I liked what Rick's position in the argument was that, he wants him to rethink his position on the saviors. And he says, you didn't kill a guy who left your brother to die on a rooftop.
Right. I was like, you brought us back. Rick,
But
you
I
brought
mean,
us back.
it was a good argument. I mean, like, sometimes you do have to rethink
Right,
things,
it's
even
true.
though you really, really don't want to. I
Right.
mean,
But it was interesting, Daryl's point of view in that whole conversation, because he brought up the lost,
Yes.
what would Herschel want? What would, these people want that these, people that were keeping alive would have done terrible things to them.
Yeah.
Including, what was the guy named?
Glenn, Abraham, Sasha.
Abraham, Sasha,
Yeah.
and all that. And it was an interesting way to think about it.
Yeah.
And I don't think Rick said he thought about it, but on a different level, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gone, so
Right.
it's like I feel like he's not really thinking about them so much, but because at what point does he's lived through the whole like I just want vengeance and I want
Right,
this and I
right.
know what's right, but then it's like at some point there does become like okay, well they did do a lot of awful stuff, so did we. I think that's where he's trying to get to, and that's why we're working on these laws or whatever. But they're just not there yet, and they clearly have to figure something out because it's not going well.
Exactly.
yeah. I want to talk about Maggie really quick, Maggie and Cindy, because this kind of foreshadows what we see in the end. They're kind of scouting grids, make sure the areas are clear, and they find this house, which kind of brings Cindy back to her
Right.
home life before Oceanside. There's that whole Walker thing that ensues, and Grid 5 never comes to help them, and we find Arat missing. Now, Arat is the short-haired girl.
Right.
You
Right.
guys don't know who she is. Now they have a dilemma, because if Arat is missing, that just means this is going to give more fuel to the fire, if
Yeah.
you will, to
Right.
the saviors wanting to want guns and
Right.
kind of disturb the peace because they want to find their people. They feel
Right.
targeted, and Carol thinks that if they don't find Arat, they're going to fight the saviors. Do you guys agree?
At the time, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, it's either we've had so many at this point because they were. Justin wasn't the first. I forget who else was missing
The
before
whole
that, but
thing that went with the gas, the ethanol, right?
Right.
Yeah.
They all
Yeah.
disappeared too.
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
truck of them. So
Whole
it's
truck
like,
of 'em.
I definitely thought I was like, this. It's about to go down. If it's one more.
Right.
What I love about Carol is that she says to Rick, she's like, you know what, I wanted to end it before it even began. Now, if we know Carol, she is the one to go to if you want to.
Yeah.
If we want
If you
something
wanna handle
handled
something.
before it
Carol
starts,
will do it.
she will
Savage.
do it. Whether it's a kid, whether it's a group of people,
I don't care who
Right,
you
that's
are.
all, baby. No.
She'll do it all.
she'll take care of it. And I love that about her, because she obviously is one of the strongest female characters of the
She is.
cast.
Yes, she
Yeah.
is.
But she's not afraid to do what needs to be done, which is why I thought she was a great leader for the Savior Sanctuary.
Yeah, right.
For me, it's
And
why
like-
I used to not hate her. That's a strong word, but I used to be like, Carol, dear God, it's like too much.
Take it down.
Yeah, kill everybody.
Right. She does get a little across the line a little bit.
Yeah. But now she has tamed it back. So
Yeah.
thank you, Carol.
Yes.
And she's better now.
Yeah.
But she
Yeah.
does still have that savage mentality to where she's like just waiting.
Point
for
Right.
somebody to grab the gun.
Yeah.
She was waiting.
So we get to the bottom of who's been killing the Saviors, and lo and behold, it's the Oceanside girls.
The
Right.
women.
The people, not even that, not even that.
Oceanside.
I was surprised because they were so against killing people. They were so like, oh, we don't want to use weapons. We just
Right.
want to
Yeah.
be
Right.
by ourselves. We just want to be left alone. And now they're taking revenge on
It's because they were
everybody.
terrified, and now they're right in front of us.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
after hearing their argument, especially after what happened to Cindy's brother and what Arat did to him, did we blame them?
I was kind of
Right.
like, sure, killer.
I mean, so was Maggie and Daryl. let's be
Yeah.
clear.
Right.
But
I mean,
what would you guys have done in that situation?
I mean, I thought who was originally killing the Saviors was Alden, and not originally not the reason you think, Tim. I thought he was trying to start an uproar,
Right.
to free Negan.
Oh, wow.
Just to kind of, and I was like, well, who's the perfect person to do it
Yeah.
that has loyalty in both
sides.
in both sides. But yeah, I knew exactly what they were going to do with Daryl and Maggie. I knew they were going to turn around and just let her have it, because I mean at that point really, you know, justice just had to be
Had to be served.
had to be served.
I thought that this is another one of those issues that I go back and forth on, like with every other sentence. But I thought that they were gonna stop them the moment that I'm forgetting her name.
Arat
Said, what'd she say? Oh my gosh!
I've changed.
No. That Cindy said, I did this because of you. Like,
Yeah. I thought
inspired
Mary was
me
going to be like, whoa,
Inspired.
I thought she was gonna stop her then, but then
She
obviously
did
she
have
goes.
a moment where she was like, oh no.
But when she said what, she's like, tell me what you said, and that was it.
Yeah, I think, but the ultimate place that I land is that it was good for them to kill her, because what was going to happen if they let her go?
Right.
She was
gonna
going to
tell
tell everyone.
Right.
So she had to be done.
Yeah.
It's like once you set this in motion, you have to follow through with it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the consequences are going to be a lot.
And then
Because
if you
she was
didn't
the
let
last
them,
one.
Yeah, and if you didn't let them do this last one here, they're gonna all be really mad, and
Yeah.
it's just gonna be everyone's.
No
It's
excuses.
just really sad because I really felt for Arat in that situation. I
Right.
do
In the
believe
moment, I did.
I
but
do
was
believe
like,
that she changed.
Yeah, it's true. I believe she changed as well, but
Yeah.
no excuses. That was a
You
lot.
can't kill
Last
her,
thing to
yeah.
say,
Yeah.
like that was a lot.
But now it brings us into this internal feud because Maggie and Daryl want to go visit Negan now.
Yeah.
So is there going to be a thing between Maggie, Daryl, and Rick?
Of course, I see that.
mean,
Yeah.
Definitely see that.
I'm honestly, I'm not loving it, because I like for them to be all,
Happy fam.
yes, and on the same page. And Maggie, a lot of people are saying this in chat as well, that she is just so angry. And
is.
obviously, I get it. Her husband was beat to death with a bat.
Yeah.
So I understand. But
She watched.
I'm missing
Right.
a little bit of like old school Maggie. But I do love that Daryl was like, she's like, we need to go see Negan. He's like, let's go.
Look, if we're going to kill anybody, it needs to be Negan.
Right.
I mean, if we're going to do Gregory and you're going to let Arat be killed, like, Negan has to go.
Exactly.
I mean, there's...
Exactly.
Like
But
there-
who's gonna cross
Yeah.
the HBIC? Rick.
Right. I mean, I guess we'll see. I want to save it for predictions,
Yeah.
but we're left with the saviors leaving the forest because obviously everything has come to a head, and with everything that had happened, do you think that the saviors are going to be themselves, they're like their own people now, or is there going to be a very separated group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost think they are already.
Yeah.
But I mean, they are living, together.
Yeah.
But I kind of think they already are.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be even more so.
Yeah.
They've been acting on their own this whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
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 They just can't fend for themselves. They don't have
don't
any
have food.
resources.
That's
Not
true.
having
They don't have
resources.
food, so they do still have to like help out.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think they're gonna like keep to themselves. 100%.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Plot.
You guys, that is our recap of episode 3. Warning signs. I want to get into one of our favorite segments, our favorite kill segment. Oh, there's our wonderful soundbite. You guys, since we didn't cover it last episode 2, I want to hear your favorite kill from either episode 2 or episode
cool.
3. Anybody got one?
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
mine would be from 2,
Okay.
I think. I liked when Rick shot the logs and just
Oh,
took
yeah.
out like half
Yeah.
the herd
Right.
in one
Oh,
fell
he's so
swoop.
mad.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
That was
I
pretty
just
good.
like,
That was a good
that's
one.
an easy way to take care of it.
Yeah,
Right.
that was a good one.
Mine's from episode 2. I literally have been thinking about this all day. When Daryl sees Aaron underneath the log and he just runs up and gets 2 knives and goes,
Yeah, that was a good one.
and kills 2 of them at the same time.
That was good. I have to go with the long one as well.
Yeah.
It was-
Right.
It was the most creative. We haven't seen
Yeah.
a nice kill like that in a while.
Yeah.
And it took out so many at once.
Yeah.
And it was so impressive, like his breath.
Right.
He was like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
This the
I'm
first
glad-
time.
Dominoes.
Focus.
I'm glad
skulls
he,
just crushed
I'm
so
glad he didn't
easily.
get it on the first try because it would have been a little unbelievable.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like
Yeah.
it's
I'm like, come
a
on,
thin rope.
come on,
you
Rick.
guys.
You know.
I think my favorite kill, and I'm going to be a little different, would be Arat's kill because it conflicted
That was
me.
good.
I kind of felt bad for her,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm like, it needed to be done.
Right.
But then still at the
Killed
same
it,
time,
don't
I'm
you
like,
think?
I didn't really
Yeah.
want you to die because I think she could have been a really strong
Yes.
person to have on
Yeah,
your side.
I saw that too.
So, I mean, that was my favorite kill of episode 3.
literally everyone in chat has been asking what is an A and what is a B.
That's
Yeah.
right. Oh,
Is
that's
it
right.
alpha
Yes.
and beta?
We didn't talk about Jadis's thing. Yes,
Right.
Yeah.
very quickly though.
That's what I thought.
I think
gonna-
I think it's a super important person and a not so
yeah,
important
like
Right.
alpha and
So
beta
alpha and
person.
beta.
I was gonna definitely in my predictions definitely say that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was my prediction. So there you guys go.
Yeah. Predictions
No,
really
that was
quick.
away from y'all.
In
Now
predictions
we're done.
really quick. What about helicopter? What do we think about this helicopter? What's going on?
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I just can't believe she's been giving over live people this whole time for food and so like.
It
what?
doesn't surprise
Right?
me at all.
It doesn't, but
right.
just like whoa.
I think, okay, so are we doing predictions right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I believe that Judd is going to be one of the key people to setting Negan free. I think the guy in the helicopter is from a different society community because we sit, Anne is her name, right?
Yeah.
Anne,
Jen,
yes.
yeah. She was talking to Gabriel about like just living
place
this
to
a
go.
great life.
Yeah.
So I believe that's where she was trying to get to. And then Alpha and Beta is that. And Daryl and Maggie are going to team up and try to take Negan out.
Yeah.
I think that Negan is going
Yeah.
to be taken out pretty quickly in this season because he can't possibly continue to be the villain for the next season, for this season. I think that civilization that you're talking about, Danny, I think you're on point with that. I think that they're going to be the new bad guys.
Yeah, well, they have a helicopter.
Exactly. I feel like there's going to be a clash
Crazy.
between those two, and I hope that Jadis isn't on the bad side because I've grown, Anne. I have grown to like
Yeah,
her.
I know. I agree with all those.
I think there's going to be another community. I'm so not ready for that yet,
Right.
because I'm like, let's
So
just
why?
get our
That's
own
so
stuff
many
together.
right now.
But why, if it was so amazing, would she not have already gone there?
They didn't want you.
That-
You're a beta.
That was my other
Right, they didn't want
that
her.
was my other question because I'm like, why did you leave in the first place to live
Right.
in a trash community?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
You weren't allowed in their alpha
Something's
community.
not right.
She wasn't,
Yeah,
yeah.
that and I think the family fun day was totally like Rick's send off. I think it's
I
coming.
know,
And
it
that
was-
might be like our last interaction we see with him and Judith. I don't know. It was just
Oh, I
really
just got
like
chills. I literally just got
Right.
chills.
didn't it just feel
It was
very
a
like
message. It
bye,
was a message,
yeah.
right.
Yeah. Well, you guys
Maybe
tell
that's
us.
his last trip home. I
Tell
don't
us
know.
what you think. I do love that. I
Yeah.
think that might be a send off for him, but we don't know because he hasn't officially announced it. But we'll see.
We'll see.
You guys, let us know what you guys think in the comments. It has been a pleasure covering episode 3, Warning Signs of the Walking Dead tonight. You guys, let them know where they can find you all.
Hey guys, I'm Krista Flentje, and you can find me all over social media at Krista Flentje.
And I'm April Whisenhant. Y'all can find me everywhere at April Whisenhant.
And my beautiful people, you can find me everywhere at I Am Danny Royce. Also, tomorrow, This Is Us After Show and The Purge After Show.
He's doing a lot, you guys. I am Timothy Michael. You can find me everywhere at I am Timothy Mike. We will see you guys next week, Monday at 8:15 p.m. to cover episode 4. We'll see you guys next week.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.